cut it to 11. Jokic just gets it off in time. It's up. Oh, it's good. Of course it goes in. Jokic from downtown. Anthony Davis just...
For a player who looks pretty unathletic, Nikola Jokic has always proven to be the best on the court. And, when all is said and done, there wouldn't be an argument that Nikola Jokic is not only a Hall of Famer, but one of the greatest players in NBA history. NBA fans know it, and many other NBA players feel the same way too.
Bradley. Baseball pass, Murray's got it, and he puts it away!
Three-time NBA champion JaVale McGee has both played with and played against Nikola Jokic. And according to him, the 2023 Finals MVP sees the game in a way that no one else can.
There's a beast, a real beast.
He got it all, huh?
He got it all, man. He got it all. And then his pace is so slow, you think, like, where's this coming from? Like, how is this? But he knows. I feel like he sees the game at a slower pace than the rest of us. They say, this is a random fact, by the way. They say cats see in like 60 frames per second or something.
Traditionally, a basketball team is organized into distinct sections. The tallest guy fights for control near the rim, expecting to be fed passes for close-range shots. Guards and wings fly around the perimeter of play, dribbling, passing, and taking longer shots. However, Jokic at 6'11" can do every single thing. You've probably seen his ridiculous bank shot that rarely fails to enter the basket. He can also take the ball on a handoff outside the three-point arc, drive to the basket, and throw the ball across the floor to a player in the corner while misrouting defenders with his eyes. He can grab a defensive rebound with one hand while simultaneously throwing an overhand pass to a player racing to the basket on the other end of the court. He knows where his teammates will be before they arrive, so he sends the ball to meet them. Other players have the team creating a system for them to flourish, but Jokic, he creates the system.
I don't think this was a system put around. I think he created that system because he's that talented.
So the offense that
I think he created.
He dominant. He's pretty dominant.
Or is it the system, P? Can you
It's
pick
a
him up?
combination of both, though. I think he makes what the system is. The coach understands you make your system based off your player. You know what I'm saying? Only coach that make a system is Pop. But the rest, you gotta build it. You gotta play around your strength as your best player. And that's what they doing. Yeah. And that's the system is him.
He's making every...
Paul Pierce even believes apart from being the system, he is by far the most dominant player in the NBA.
Duke is the most dominant player. He's the best player, Joker.
Joker best
think
player
about
in the
this, like, I'm gonna use you as reference.
Joker best player in the league?
Yeah, Joker's the best player.
The one player who could guard him in the paint, Anthony Davis, is 1-11 against him in their last 12 matchups. To better understand how dominant Joker is, you have to know that for a couple of years, the saying around Denver when Jokic posted some ludicrous stat line was, "Not since Wilt." Lately, it's been, "Not even Wilt." In the 2023 season alone, where he lost the MVP to Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic passed Wilt Chamberlain for most triple-doubles in a single postseason, and most triple-doubles by a center. There are several other records like that he holds, and yet every night on the court, he's not out chasing any of these records.
Joker, he likes basketball, he doesn't love it. He just happened to be good at it. Like, dang, I gotta go for a 40-point triple-double tonight. Like it just seems like that. Not saying he doesn't love the game, but I've never seen a superstar, an MVP. He just plays basketball on the side and happens to be really good at it.
Before, many NBA fans would agree that his records were not since Wilt Chamberlain. But now, the Joker has no one to compare with. And Paul George agrees.
His game is just so different. I think he's one of those guys that, like, when you look back at it and you see what he's doing, it's like, oh, okay, because there's nobody to compare him to. You know what I mean? So I think that's why it's so tough to like fully like understand or wrap our minds around like how great and how good of a talent he is. Like we know he's special, but it's just no one that...
Hall of Famer Tracy McGrady couldn't agree less that we have never seen anything like him.
Jokic, let me tell y'all something. This dude is so good, man. Straight up. Like, I haven't seen anything like him.
Another Hall of Famer, Larry Bird, even admits that he is so good that he would love to play against him.
Name's Nikola Jokic.
I would love to play against him. He's good.
He's good, right?
He's good. I mean, there's so many great centers over the history of our game. Man, is he good. I just hope he stays healthy and able to continue to do what he does because he is fun to watch.
And while Larry Bird would love to play against him, Greg Popovich thinks that he plays like the Boston Celtics legend.
Jokic. He's too damn good. It's not fair, all the things he can do. And, you know, he's so funny. I love the guy. He doesn't look like he's doing anything. You know, he's not going fast. He's not jumping high. You know, it's kind of Larry Birdish, you know, in a way. But talk about skills and anticipation and decisions. He's fantastic.
Defensively, you know, Jokic is just great. And he was too much for us in the end. I mean, down the stretch, they made 3 shots in a row. He made 2 of them. And, you know, we had a chance.
Even LeBron James thinks he's a Larry Bird reincarnate.
When you have a guy like Joker who, as big as he is, but also as cerebral he is, you can't really make many mistakes versus a guy like that. And even when you guard him for one of the best possessions that you think you've guarded him, he puts the ball behind his head, Larry Bird style, and shoots it 50 feet in the air, and it goes in.
Truth be told, the Larry Bird comparison is clear as day, even though they play different positions. Both athletes have striking similarities in their playing styles. From their high IQ, passing, dribbling, and unconventional shooting skills to their pace. When they play, they move at their own pace, never in a rush, and nobody can stop them from going where they want to go. In fact, both players have a level of efficiency that only a few people in NBA history possess. Larry Bird, in his 13-year career in the NBA, averaged 24.3 points, 10 rebounds, 6.3 assists, and 1.7 steals per game. In 9 years in the NBA, he's averaging 20.9 points, 10.7 rebounds, 6.9 assists, and 1.2 steals per game. It could only get better from there. Besides, 6-time NBA champion Dennis Rodman strongly believes Jokic is way better than Larry Bird.
Jokic. Oh my God, he's slow as hell. You know, okay, so, but that guy got a game. You know what I'm saying? I think he's better than Larry Bird. I mean, in this day and age, yeah.
And 4-time champion John Sally believes not even Dennis Rodman could guard Nikola Jokic.
Jokic, I don't know what I would have done. I really think he would have got 40 over. I'm literally thinking, well, I know your moves. I have never seen his moves. When I see Jokic play, I don't know what to say. He would have given Dennis Rodman some problems because of his moves.
All this just goes to show how dominant NBA players and ex-players know how dominant Nikola Jokic is on the court. Power forward Montrezl Harrell explains how dominant Jokic is compared to other bigs in the NBA, like Giannis Antetokounmpo and Joel Embiid.
Joker. With Greek, it's like people playing him to try to get him to shoot. If Giannis is pulling up from anywhere on the floor, we feel like we won that possession. Joel, it's like he's in the in-between stage.
Richard Jepson explains that he is one of one.
He's the most unique, special offensive player as a big that we have seen in a very, very, very long time. Well, I say that because, like, if we say big, as in, like, we haven't seen somebody that's able to do what he does.
Former NBA player Richard McCants goes further to explain why Joker is the perfect NBA big.
Jokic plays in between the lines of eras of basketball. He plays the big man era, take you down to that block and give you work. He plays the pinch post era, Brad Miller, Chris Webber, Lottie Divac. He's the Euro that can give you that on the cuts. He can give you that on the dribble handoff. He can pop and hit the three.
Nikola Jokic is a little of Shaq, a little Magic, a little Dirk, and a little Arvydas Sabonis. In fact, putting a label on his game is nearly an impossible challenge for many. Offensively, as a big, Jokic is a real threat from anywhere on the floor. He can play across all 3 scoring levels. If teams clog the paint, he can score from the perimeter. And he can back down to score around the rim if they push up to take away threes. In his NBA career, he has been shooting 35% from the three-point line, 55.7% from the floor, and 82.7% from the free throw line. This season, he's shooting 59.8% with hook shots, 94.4% with dunks, 48.8% with jump shots, and 70.3% with layups. He's doing all of this without flopping.
Joker.
Yeah,
Man, that
bro.
shit's unreal.
Yeah, bro, that shit's unreal.
That shit is unreal, man.
The thing that like I most like about him is like he don't flop. Like, and I ain't saying like, you know, guys try to sell cars, but other than that, like, he not trying to get 16, 17 free throws. No, he trying to get buckets.
But what's more surprising is that he's not so big on scoring. I mean, imagine a big like Shaq that doesn't like to score.
Yeah, so playing with Kai, James, and Kay, it's very different than playing with Nikola. Like, I wouldn't say Kai and them are unselfish, but I feel like Nikola's too unselfish, right? He gonna make the right play every single time. Like, Kay can shoot over two people, Kai can shoot over two people and score. Nikola not gonna do that.
A passing big is definitely a luxury, and having your center run the offense at his own pace is something you don't see many teams ever do in the NBA. But Jokic, with his court vision and unselfish play, has allowed the Denver Nuggets to become one of the best offensive teams in the league. Teammate Michael Porter Jr. tells a story of how great and unselfish Joker is.
Like, well, the first time I met him, he came to the gym when I first got to Denver. He came and rebounded for me for a little bit. I was like, oh, he's a good guy. But I didn't really know too much about him because I didn't ever watch the Nuggets. And he was good. He wasn't as good as he is now. And then we ended up going to training camp, and I'm watching him play, and he's doing all right, but like Mason Plumlee was doing just as good as Joker. And I'm like, wait, so why does Joker start over Mason Plumlee? And then I remember my teammates just saying like, no, like when he wants to, he could score 40 a night. If he didn't just pass and he just wanted to score.
As a center, Nikola Jokic can actually play with slashing wings, movement shooters, and elite ball handlers, and is still the best offensive player on the court. And when he's not an offensive nightmare, the Joker can protect the rim and dominate the glass. Watch him against the Golden State Warriors. After this game, Warriors coach Steve Kerr had to heap praise on Jokic for being an underrated defender.
Tonight. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to ask of Draymond to guard him, the entire time out there. And he's just, such a dominant force in every way. He's so smart defensively, had 4 steals, anticipated a couple of passes that he stole. The pass at the end to Gordon for the dunk, but I think with 2 minutes left I was kind of right behind him. He didn't. I don't even think he saw him. He just knew he would be there. And so Jokic controlled the game, 16 assists. I'm willing to bet they don't lose much, if at all, when he gets 16 assists, because that means everybody else is going to.
But this shouldn't come as a surprise, though, because Steve Kerr had always been a big fan of Nikola Jokic, long before he became an MVP, and even likened him to Arvydas Sabonis.
One of my favorite players to watch in the league, on off nights, when I've got a league pass going, I always make sure I turn to Denver a little bit and watch Jokic and his passing and his brilliance. He just sees the game so well. I always love watching players who just seem to be a move ahead on the chessboard. He's one of those guys. So great young player, and they run everything through him and around him. He's like the pinwheel. He's like the middle of the pinwheel, and you got all these cutters and shooters around him. That's why they're so dynamic.
In any case, fast forward to 7 years after Kerr made this statement, he has become the most dominant player in the NBA. He is so dominant that he scares even the 2022-23 Defensive Player of the Year, Jaren Jackson.
He's doing just about everything out there. Coming off the screen into a post-up. He's coming off a wedge into the post-up, whipping the pass. And then, out of nowhere, when you think it's a 3-ball. I'm like, oh, my God. They get the arc, and you're just like, come on. He don't miss. I haven't seen him miss a shot against us, probably ever.
And they, dagger shots, too.
God, he made that? One leg. He looks crazy in the face. He looks like
no emotion.
Trying.
Paul George, who's gone 10-19 against Jokic in his career, including a 3-4 record in the playoffs, describes why it was so hard to stop Jokic when they met.
But he just knows his game. I think he's a player that just knows who he is on that court. And you put a small guy on him, he punishes him. Somebody his size, he uses his smarts and wits
Karl Anthony Towns, who has a 12-17 record against Jokic, including a 4-2 record in the playoffs, gave his opinion on why the Joker is dominant when he said,
Jokic obviously is a very talented player. I've known him since we was in high school at the Nike Hoop Summit. He's always been very talented. So I got a lot of respect for him. We both have a lot of respect for each other, a lot of mutual respect. So he's doing his thing in Denver. They made that team for him, and they all rally around him. So he's definitely a tough guard because he could do a lot of things, you know.
According to one of the greatest scorers in NBA history, Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic is ridiculous and unguardable.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. Yeah, I felt like all of those shots felt like they was easy shots, you know. And he just played a game at a pace that you can't speed him up, you know. Fluster him, he's strong, he can make every shot. I mean, I hate when he makes shots because he's so unorthodox, and it's like, oh yeah, that's a miss, and then it goes straight in. You know, he's incredible.
Draymond Green couldn't help but agree on how ridiculous Jokic is on the court. According to him, he is by far one of the smartest players in the league.
You're not locking down a great player. He's the MVP of the NBA for a reason. And, you know, he's possibly the MVP of the NBA again. We don't know yet, but for a reason. He's an incredible, incredible player.
LeBron James even goes as far as to call Nikola Jokic the master of court mapping.
I mean, I saw a stat on Jokic last year, and I don't know the exact number, but in the finals, in the finals versus Miami, he shot like 70% from the free throw line in. Like catching the ball at the free throw line, either or floaters when he catches in the pocket, like 74%. That's insane.
According to Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas, Jokic is the most smartest big man in NBA history.
He might be one of the smartest big men to ever play because define that. Because he has an answer to every problem that you throw at him.
Another Hall of Famer, Jerry West, describes how smart he is when he said,
if you watch him around the basket, he absolutely will shoot the ball, touch it, and catch it on the other side before these guys move. That tells you how good he really is. He's got an incredible instinct.
For what it's worth, everyone in the NBA agrees that Nikola Jokic is a great player and a generational talent.
Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world right now. If you don't believe that, I will respectfully disagree with you. There's no shade. There's no hate. You're allowed to disagree with that statement. So far in the playoffs, think about this. Game 4 against the Phoenix Suns. They lose. Denver loses. Jokic has 53 and 11. And a lot of that was one-on-one. They make a little bit of an adjustment where they're just like, we're going to go back to having Jokic high, having him hit cutters, having him play DHO action.
For me personally, it's an honor and a privilege to watch him play every single night. You don't just walk out of bed and get triple doubles. And the thing I like about his triple doubles too, it ain't like 11, and 10.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he is really putting in the numbers, and he's a great kid.
He even had John Collins admitting that he wishes to model his game after him.
You know, one of my favorite players to watch is Jokic because of how patient he is, and that's more so not to say I want to be a Jokic, but I want to play with that patience, and that's what I want my game to sort of feel like, and have that vibe, that patience, that understanding, seeing things before it happens. You know, reading the game at a high level.
However, in all of these comparisons to other bigs like Shaq, Hakeem Olajuwon, Tim Duncan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Wilt Chamberlain, is he the best center of all time?
We're putting him over the likes of Shaquille O'Neal, Hakeem Olajuwon, Tim Duncan, and it's just like Wilt Chamberlain's. Like that's a tough conversation to have because we've seen what these guys have done. We've seen how their careers have panned out. So can we sit here and say right now, today, that Jokic, not only the best big to ever play, but the best basketball player to ever touch a ball?
In any case, one thing we can all agree on, even if many don't believe he's the best center of all time, is that almost all NBA players and ex-players have nothing but respect for the Serbian center. And with a talent like his, he will undoubtedly end his career as one of the greatest NBA players ever. What do you think about Nikola Jokic? Do you agree that he's the best player in the league? Or do you think he's definitely the best center the NBA has ever seen? Let me know in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, the next video on your screen is worth your time.